Welcome to the Soulful Journey. This is Venus Jones, and today we are going to talk about forgiveness, mentorship, poetry, so much more. I have a special guest named Uriel, and I'm so excited that he's going to be here a little bit later, but I like to start off with a poem of my own. We get into a little bit of chat with our special guest, and then we talk about a little bit of how it applies to a current event, and then we might end with some question and answer or a little bit of some play, wordplay. Now, this is my third episode of the Soulful Journey. The Soulful Journey is a place that is good for the soul. We like to highlight people who inspire us. We like to highlight all things that are good for the soul. So right now I'm going to go ahead and tell you something about my day. Like, for example, one thing that is good for souls is therapy, okay? I went to see my counselor today. And what's funny is sometimes some of us who need the most counseling, we don't really reach out like that for a little bit of help from our friends or professionals. But I was talking to her about forgiveness and how, I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I've in the past, I've reached out. I'm working on personal development, and I've been reaching out to people in the spirit of forgiveness, and maybe just talking about why we don't talk anymore, and hoping that I can maybe even be friends with people from my past. So that's kind of what I've been playing around with right now. But I realize that sometimes when you reach out for someone, they're not really ready. They may not be as transparent as you are. They may not see things the way you see them, or they're not even seeking closure on anything. So it's interesting, but when you're living a soulful journey, you're always thinking about like that final day, and you don't want any regrets. So sometimes you put it in the Creator's hand, the God of your understanding, as my friend Shay would say. You put it in the hands of the universe, or all things that are maybe bigger than you on your worst day. And you say, all is good with my soul. Hey, if you are in the chat, make sure that I can see you. Hi, Sabrina. I see you. Thanks for the wave. Some of you might have to add your name. This is my first time going live on my profile on my actual personal page. But there is a Soulful Journey open mic page. So make sure you look for that and give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in the open mic a little bit later tonight, at 7 p.m., we will be doing an open mic. And without any further ado, I want to talk about the reasons we don't talk. Now, this is a poem I've never recited live. If you're wondering what my shirt says, let me pan down a little bit so you can see. It says, eat, sleep, poetry, repeat. You know that soul food is good for the soul, right? Sometimes some good books are good for the soul, and sleep is always good for the soul. And so is poetry. So let me start with a poem called The Reasons We Don't Talk. A bitter lie, a broken promise. Our differences took up too much time. Then I ran away. You never searched for me among the missing, because you were looking for a sign. And now you're wondering if I wear a smirk at the sound of your name. The answer is no. I just woke up and you weren't there, so it was time to let go. Count me among the missing in your circle. among those you tossed. Just know you are forgiven, and my smile will be sincere if our paths ever cross. I like my life the way it is. I hope my name doesn't cause you to frown. I understand. Sometimes we all get lost to see if a deeper love can be found. So that's called The Reasons We Don't Talk. And it reminds me of another poem as I'm still waiting on my guest. When I think of my guest, who I hope I might have to invite him one more time. Let me make sure he knows how to get up in here. So when I think about my guest, I think about this song. And the song goes like this. Let's have a meaningful conversation. We can live free from discrimination. Share our fears with no hesitation. Because we are one, we're one, we're one. Building bridges cross-culturally, being the change we want to see. We are respecting our diversity. Because we are one, we're one, we're one. So that's the piece called We Are One. It reminds me of when I was a mentor. It was, we're actually, when we think about mentors, we're always playing the role of a mentor sometimes. Some mentors, they stay in our life maybe just for a day. They come in and they plant healthy seeds. Who said sang? Thank you for that. Who said sang? Thank you for that. Oh my gosh. How are you, Connie? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for the encouragement. But sometimes that's what a mentor does. A mentor comes in, they encourage you maybe just for a day, and you remember it for a lifetime, right? It's a beautiful thing, mentorship. And my guest today he has been a mentor for many times in his life. And I reach out and I do my best to mentor when I can. But one time I was a mentor for a whole summer. Shout out to my community Tampa Bay family. And there's an organization called Community Tampa Bay, and they had this, I don't know if they still do it, but I believe they do, called Anytown. So we come, we teach people about diversity, we teach them about different perspectives, and how the fact is truly we are one. We are one. And I think about that when I think about this person I'm going to invite you to. Now, I know this is my third episode, and some of you are still stuck on superficial or you can see here, and you're like, wait a minute, but every time she have a guest, I notice is somebody that we call an African-American male or a black man. Is that all that's good for the soul? No. Slow down. I do think that we all have a soul. We all have a spirit, right? But it is ironic that this is my third show. But at the same time, I was thinking about that. Somebody might be thinking that. But what's really real is that all of these people that I'm introducing you to are just people who have, when I reached out, they reached back. And I'm still waiting on some of you. But I forgive you if you're not ready yet. Uriel is the son of Kevin and Wilma Riley. He is a father, writer, pro fitness specialist, and founder of You Are Healing. He served as a yoga instructor, motivational speaker, and currently serves as a mentor in Los Angeles, California. He has recently produced an album called Love Over Hate and is the author of The Color of My Sky is Black. I want you to learn more about Uriel at realrealestate.com. Uriel. But without any further ado, let me shake the maracas for my friend who has mentored me sometimes, and we've mentored each other, the one and only Uriel. What's
Hey,
up?
oh man, that intro was amazing. You rock, man. I want to say thank you, and you've got everything that you
Yes,
were saying earlier, being about mentor and
yes,
how important that is in our community. It's just so important, and you know, there are a lot of strong females, but none stronger than you. Thank
whatever, man. But I appreciate you. I really appreciate. I accept that. How about that? Because I'm still learning to accept and accept the love. But I am going to show you more like love by giving you the full picture here. So I'm gonna step back so you can step up and you share 5 minutes of whatever you want to talk about. It could be a poem, a song, a reading. I don't know whatever what's in
you.
your soul. And I'm going to
Definitely.
remove
Okay.
myself for now. Come back a little bit later and come back and we'll chat after that. Okay? You
That'll be
got it.
wonderful. That'll be
Okay.
wonderful. Peace. I am now 41 years in years Earth rotations, and I've learned that love begets love. Hate begets hate. We are very, very special people, but unless you really believe that about yourself, you will never ever strive to be that. And my purpose is to instill hope and healing for the world. There are many types of healing. You have to heal mentally, spiritually, physically, energetically, metaphysically. I try to focus in on the spiritual aspect. There's something that I try to mentor everyone that I work with in is that seeing the macrocosm, not just the microcosm, because the microcosm is you. But if you spiral that energy towards the world, it's going to spiral out towards everyone else. That's why integrity is important. That's why consistency is important. I've gotten the greatest results from working with athletes and people that aren't athletes all over the world. And every single one of those times that we get those results, it's because of consistency. This is something that builds integrity, not only in yourself, saying that you can do it because you have done it, but also in the community, in the people around. And so that's what my goal is to instill a different way, I guess, you know, that you can do it. Not that you can't, not that you have to shortcut anything, but that you can do it the right way and you will get great results. With that said, I'm going to do a poem. It's called Manifesting Dreams from my next book that I will publish and put out. Manifesting Dreams. The beauty in life comes from art, a perception of light. The mind adapts and vision changes. Small synapses generate pictures. In an alternate reality, dreams come true again and again. When it happens for real, this manifestation is not pretend. Belief is understood and followed. Faith and strength are prayed for. Spoken out to the universe verbally, epiphanies are had, then recorded with colors sacred and appropriate. It happens accurately. Then another vision compounds and it happens instantly, back to a spatial universal anomaly. we dream again. We dream again. Then you have to wait patiently. And then it's worked for. And it's written down after it works. And it's listened to and taught. We hear it. We feel it. It's even more than it seems. Become it and do it. And manifest in dreams. Thank you.
Hey, you know
Hey.
what? You know, I love a poet who will pause, who will pause. Sometimes you pause before the manifestation. They don't know that's what we're doing, but
That's right. That's right. And that's why I wrote that in that way.
say it
You
again.
know, because that's how it actually happens. You know, in the first couple of lines, the beauty in life comes in art, a perception of light. The mind adapts and vision changes. Small synapses generate pictures. So the mind is actually succumbing to the environment that it's in. And so it sees it. And so it understands it. And so it adapts accordingly, you know. And then we start to, off of our pain, off our fears, off our loves, off our passions, we build a world around that. Whether we block out the things that give us pain or we accept them and move forward, you know. But it's all a manifestation.
Yes, indeed, Uriel. Yes, indeed, man. I mean, that was definitely good for the soul. I'm gonna need y'all to like clap it up in the chat. Let them know. Let them know. Okay, I said what was really real. So thank you so much because when sometimes what I love, first of all, let me all let you in on how far Uriel and I go back. We are both part of another community that is still alive and well, with a whole new generation of folk.
No doubt.
But we go back to Black on Black Brine in Tampa Bay. Shout out if there's any Black on Black Brine listeners
Yep.
in.
And Solstice Lounge. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
the
Yep.
Solstice Lounge and Kylie and Wally B and Life and JB. Shout out to all of them. You know, and I was just thinking about, we were talking about how, you know, when I'm, the thing is, like, some people, I know you all have heard this, maybe you haven't, but they say some people are in your life for a season, some are in your life
Mm.
for a lifetime. And then I've also received something where they show, like, you're on a, like, let's say you're like on a train, and then there's like, if you're on a journey and you're on a train, hey, Soulful journey, and then there's people who come on the train and then they go off the train. You might see them in another destination and you be like, oh yeah, I remember you, right? But
Right.
the whole time, sometimes you want some people to stay on the journey with you the whole time, but they go in different
Right.
places, right? They go in different places. So it's okay and it's real. But when we are manifesting what is really for us, we do have to pause and give thanks for who
Thank you.
is still reaching back after
Thank you.
years. Like Uriel and I, we had a chance to like just pick up where we left off, right? He saw me on the
Mhm.
stage. He remembered me being on the stage and doing my best to like do my little black girl magic and share what I know about my journey, even back
Amazing.
then. And I've grown so much since then. But
Oh,
we followed each other here and there, and I'm like, man, here's another brother that needs highlighted. Man, I'm so upset still that somebody like Chadwick wasn't appreciated while he was here, right? Like, not
mm,
at the level that he deserved. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's people out here, and that's why I'm doing this. So I just cannot thank you enough for just being here. I know you
thank
humble. I
you.
know you're humble,
Thank
but you've done some amazing things. And this share and tell time. So
you. All right.
I you look like you're in Costa Rica. I don't even know where you at. Where you at? You in LA still? Where you at? What's that behind you?
Oh
What's
man, yeah. Okay, so I live in LA and I am in a particular place where, like we had talked about earlier, this spirit leads us. You know, when you listen, when you actually really listen, it's not saying I want to do what I want to do. I want to, you know, it's actually, all right, is this what's best
Yeah.
And when you think that and you listen to the reaction that your ancestors have that we give thanks to every day, they always put you in positions to be successful, to attain your goals. And from in my experience, all it is just being in a position of doing the things that you've been giving to use. Like, all right, for instance, you don't hear me curse that much, right? My dad always said, "Don't need to curse. I, I have plenty of words I can use,"
Yeah.
and that's something that's just stayed with me. That's not maybe most people. Oh, that's fine, but I have no judgment of that. But at the same
Mm.
time, I'm aware of it. You see what I'm saying? And so when you're aware of the the messages that you are getting sent, and you believe not only in yourself, you have to believe in a higher power. If you
Mm.
don't believe it in something outside of yourself, you're walking pretty much aimlessly. And so
You walk
when you
where?
believe in that, you can listen. You're walking aimlessly.
Aimlessly. Got
Yeah, because you don't have a God.
it.
See,
Mm.
people like you and myself, we always had a God.
Yeah. I grew up in a very religious home. I consider myself more spiritual these days, but like yourself, we both grew up with that upbringing of be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
this is not a joke, right?
that's
You know,
right.
life is
That's
but
right.
a dream, but if it is a dream, one day we wake up
That's
and
right.
we say, "Oh, well, what's really what's real and what is true?" Is
Yeah.
something that we're always paying attention to when you care and you were raised in what is divine practice, right? And
Hmm.
I wish I was like you, Uriel. I'm not. I do curse. You don't hear me curse in public.
I was just using that
Yeah,
as an
I know, I
example.
know, I know. But
Meaning that if we always do things that we all right. Let me go a different route. When
okay.
you get injured, when you get injured, say you injure your shoulder, right?
Hmm.
If you get injured and you injure your shoulder, you're not going to be having your arm out here
Well,
and doing stuff like this. What does your body naturally do? It naturally brings it in.
goes
So
like
with
this.
that, right, it brings it
Right, right,
into
right.
its most natural state.
Hmm.
So when you're doing that, the same way is what you're going to revert to in your own entire world. Is you're going to do things that make you feel the most comfortable.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have a foundation on exactly of I'm going there, this is how to do it the right way, and I this is how you can do it another way. The right way is going to be the way that gets you there, but
Come
a
on.
lot of people need to overthink it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
think, I might be able to invent it a new way, you know. But our ancestors, if we listen again, if you're listening, you're gonna take that energy. Okay, I got to do this.
Can
You
I
know
can I
what? I got
ask
to
you about?
present this.
See, I got to pause you though. I got to pause you because we as much as I'm following spirit here, I still have to get some of these core questions in, my brother. Okay.
I'm with you.
Can
I'm
you,
with you.
I don't know. You can either show me your oasis, what's going on around you, what inspires you around you. You can show me what's up with this necklace. I don't know. Show me something. Show
Oh,
me some
wonderful,
artifact.
wonderful. Okay, all right.
I don't know what inspires you.
Let's go
We
with
need to get cool on how you get to
this.
right. Show
This
me
is
something. Whoa.
this
Okay.
is Tahija. So she is a warrior princess. And if you see, she's in a garb, striped, and she has her weapons and swords behind her to work out. This is Taharka. Taharka, he was also a king, and we're talking the 23rd dynasty in Egypt. Um, oh my gosh. Yeah, and so there's other ones over there, and it's
Um,
just to you know
So now I
Be
know why
surrounded
you
by.
so calm. I see you on Instagram just dropping gems because you got all this energy.
That's
Right?
right.
You got all this divine energy
Um,
around you. Holy and
Now
divine.
this is a
I feel
very,
it.
very awesome stone right here.
What sound
That
is
was
that?
also given to me. You did say my necklace. I'm trying. I'm just trying to do the show and tell. This is these are what you are called alekes for Obatala, for the healer of our tribe, and they come from South Sudan. Um, and there you go.
How
I got
did someone
another.
give you that? Did
Huh?
someone give you that necklace?
Yes, yes, it was bestowed upon me as a gift because I was doing a healing. I got a year contract with a celebrity from the LA area, and that was a writer as well, you know, and um, they had been given it for to bestow on someone else that was a healer, and I guess it just found my way. That's again, I guess, spirit
And
leading.
do you wear that all the time?
Yes, and that's a different story. I was told when I went for ritual to actually grace this and understand the energy um, that me having this, I was supposed to wear it every day.
Wow. Wow. Now that is now if a mentor gives you something like that, woo, you know you did something right. You right with that kind
Right?
of yes.
You can only give thanks. That's all you can do is give thanks, you know. And I felt the same way whenever I heard your words. Whenever I went back and I'm listening to some of your poems, and you know, and your speeches with people interviewing you, and I'm just like, man, you know, she has so much knowledge, and all you're doing, it seems like you're just freely giving it back, you know, through your experience. That's so important to the people because it's come from a genuine place. And what people don't understand is that most people are out to get a bag, and it's spiritually that's never that doesn't mean anything. Can't take that with you.
Well, that's what I was told too. That's what I have been blessed, so I do seek to be a blessing. But we both, I know you were telling me that you grew up Jehovah Witness. I don't know what your practice is now. You did tell me
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember earlier you were saying, you some of the people that you looked up to, because I was gonna ask you that, like, what sage advice would you tell your younger self though? Like, um, what would you say to your younger self?
I would tell my younger self to ask for help. Um, to don't let your pride see because and the reason why I say that is because my 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 I always had my grandmother and grandfather, you know, growing up. I always had that family core around me. And then when my mother and father divorced, I went through a big time crisis. And it happened at a point in my life when I was, you know, a teenager and trying to decide what college to go to and stuff like that. So that being taken out of my life, I just said, "Oh, I'm the man of the
Mhm.
house now," you know. And I tried to, you know, take on way more than I was ready to, and so I buried a lot of things instead of um, accepting them and asking them for help. Uh, and then so I had to when you go so far down the line and you don't go back and replant those plants that have been messed up, you know, you still got to go back and replant them. And so once I finally accepted that trauma and stuff like that, because when you were talking about earlier, um, and this was the advice. It comes with that advice, and why I say ask for help is because I started losing friends very early.
Mhm.
I'm from the projects. I went Bentley Woods, and then went, in Glassboro, New Jersey. It's crazy hood right there, at that time in that era. And I lost my first friend when I was 13. The first time I ever saw a man laying dead on the street in broad daylight, I was like 7 years old. So that's when you start to see a reality, and you're like, you close in a little bit more. And so, um, once you see the reality that lady could be gone and never be gone again. Now, that first person I lost was my football center. I was the quarterback, so it
Yeah.
was hit very close, and that was from a police officer. He shot and killed him, used him as
Wow.
target practice.
Because
We
it was
marched in the
for
street.
me, it was the same, Uriel. I was like 14 when I experienced the death of a 16-year-old who was like a good like family to me. So it was like shocking, like, but it also grounded me more than any religion could. I mean, it was like,
Right,
whoa,
right.
okay, death is not a
This
joke.
is real. Yeah.
My time is some people they don't experience a close death like that until maybe
No
they
doubt.
they're
And
40,
that's
50,
what I've learned.
60 years old, right? But when you experience it, and that, like you said, when it's tragic, and you think you get into the whys of life, and you still try to like find your way. um I
That's
feel
real.
like that. It can mature you, but you still need to ask for
And I
help.
never got no therapy for that. You see what I'm saying? During that time,
Right.
and any trauma after that. Why?
Okay.
Because I'm a black man, and
Okay.
so I'm supposed to be strong and,
Mm.
whatever. And you know, I stood at that podium that day when we all was marching in the street. We was 14 years old, and I was a freshman in high school, and all I could say was, I don't understand why the officer couldn't just trip him, or shoot a warning shot, or why did he have to shoot? Why did he have to shoot him? He's a little boy. He was my teammate. I love him. That's all I could say. But that's because I couldn't register. And from that time on, what I've definitely learned from being a therapist is that you have to accept any trauma, and then you have to work to get over it. There's points that you're going to have anger, you're going to have fear, you're going to have sadness, and so on and so forth, grief. But if you don't accept from the very beginning, you're never going to get totally healed from it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Because yeah, that's the thing about it seems like you're constantly healing.
Yes,
Yeah. So I
yes.
think that's how, even the title of your foundation is You Are Healing. Now, how did you
Yes.
come up with that name?
Oh man, um, I was I was working with this lady. She was, and I actually, I'm on Discovery Health. It's one of my major accomplishments in this world is, uh, I was working with this lady who in Bosnia, got blown up in a bomb, and she, at a young age, at an age of 13, 14, and then she was flown to America. She had a prosthetic on one leg and a drop hook on the other leg. That means the tendons were loose. There was no muscles to actually do the muscle contraction. Anyway, worked with her for a while, and got her to the point where she could run and jump. It was just the most incredible, powerful thing. Um, she said to me, "Well, you are an amazing trainer, but I could find a great trainer anywhere." She said, "But your stretching," she said, "when you stretch my prosthetic, it makes me feel like I have a leg again. And so
Mm.
this is assisted stretching that's a part of your healing." Um, and she said, "I'll pay you just to stretch me." Now, I didn't feel that was a good deal because I already stretched all my clients no matter what, before the workout, because it improves their VO2 max. It always makes them be able to do, anyway, that little high tech stuff. But it makes people not get injured. It keeps them healthy and so on and so forth through the workout. So I added the pressure points to the hands and feet, because I have a chart that shows every pressure point in the hands and feet. Those are your nerve endings. So and that I combined it with that, and it gave a healing process to the body where I've been able to done thousands of people, and it calls a healing process to the entire body because it gets out blockages in the electrical system, and then it also allows you to extend further, and legs. I do the whole entire body, but it's mainly gauged on helping the entire internal body based on breathing in an hour session. Huh.
Wow. Okay. I just want to find out if you could give some tips on healing ourselves. How do you
Yes,
heal yourself? Can you do the pressure points on yourself, Uriel? And
most definitely.
and I want and
But the
I
main thing
started
is breathing.
Go ahead.
The main thing. All right. So Harvard Medical said in 2007 they published a article, Harvard Medical, on deep breathing. You can go and check it out. Says that diaphragmatic breathing is the most powerful self-healing mechanism that we all have the ability to do. We
Mm.
sometimes lose it because of how society says we should have a flat stomach and not puffed out, but you always want to breathe in through the nose. That's why you have the hair follicles in your nose that help to filter it. So you want to always inhale through the nose. That goes to the diaphragm, and you can exhale through your nose or mouth, but always inhale through the nose. If you go, this is that's totally different than if you try to just breathe through your mouth.
I see.
And so that is, like I said, what Harvard Medical says that's the most powerful self-healing mechanism.
Okay. So you heard me singing at the beginning, right? And
Amazing.
I was like,
Yes, no
"Let's
doubt.
have a conversation. Hey, we can think free from discrimination." Well, I wasn't on like that earlier. I was just thinking, but how I first learned about diaphragmatic breathing. Am I saying
Yep.
it right?
Yep. Diaphragmatical breathing. Yep.
Right. When I first learned about that was in a voice class, and the teacher, she was trying to get me to teach me how to sing from my diaphragm. So she was saying you had to go, uh, 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 uh,
Yes. See, and see, in having a baby, I also did learn that because that's how I had delivered my daughter, and we had to when she got to a point, we had to. I'm like, all right, breathe even further, but we went to the classes and they taught that. But actually, how I mainly learned it was Professor Rich from Monmouth University in speech and diction class. Both of them, my debate class. At the beginning of the class, we would always take 10 diaphragmatic breaths by
Okay.
doing it and saying our name out. That's
Can you
how
give us
he
a sample?
taught us.
Can
Yeah,
you give us a sample of how they do it?
yeah, that's where I learned. Even though I learned it again, reiterated with getting my yoga certification, but the real foundation where I first learned it was in speech class in college.
So, but can you show me like how do you do that? Like how do you say your
So
name and breathe?
So what he would used to do is we'd all stand up. We would all stand, and um, we
He's so
would
tough.
we would put our hands, and this is what I teach actually to this day. That's funny that and how that you just said that. But put your hands over the diaphragm, and we would just breathe in. Uriel, Riley, and
Oh.
projecting it,
Wow,
but
you
we
know
do
what's
that.
deep about that, bro? You know what's deep about that is because I teach last year, and I'm not doing it right now, but I may start another workshop up. Stay tuned from page.
That's
Last semester. I was teaching public speaking, and that's one of like in the beginning of the class. I'm always
yes, that's right. That's how we started it. That's exactly we did.
some people that are still so shy that when they even say their name, it's not registering. You have to ask them, can you say it again? Because there's so much shame or guilt or
Mm,
a feeling of hiding that they're still trying to push through. So that
no
exercise
doubt.
is powerful for someone like that.
Very
That's
powerful.
real.
Very powerful. One of the main things I teach in a session, in a your healing session, is they're sitting there breathing, and I just keep saying, inhale all the great thoughts. I want you to
Mm.
exhale any stress, any doubts, any worries. I want you to inhale and see the picture how you want it. I want you, as you exhale, you slowly feel that um, the picture coming into life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at the very beginning, always start with their name. That's the first thing I have them do is write down their name and
Write
say it.
down their name, your name. That's your name, right? Like we all here, we all got
Yeah, own it. Yeah, own it, right?
purpose.
You know what I mean?
And that name is energy. I just did a poem
That's
about
right.
my name, boy. Woo. Recently this week. Yes, my birth mother gave me the name Venus, and that
That
name.
is incredible.
Then one, I have been living my best life.
Oh, matter of fact, I just went into the planetarium and saw a great picture of Venus in Joshua Tree. Yeah, I
Boy,
just went and did that about 2 months ago. It was incredible. Oh man, because right now there was clusters around it and stuff. Oh man,
well,
yeah.
you know what's funny? Because someone even today they got my newsletter. If y'all didn't get my newsletter, that means you're not signed up at venusjones.com. So work on that. But somebody did get it, and she wanted me to know that the planet Venus they found something again. They're like, no matter what there is, no matter what is going on, she said, um, no matter how much doubt happens in the universe, it's so mysterious that even when you think there is no life, there is life.
Mm,
Now it's
that's
like,
right.
wow, because they're like finding
The-
finding out more about life and like the planets and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right, like,
And that's one of the great things that I've learned as I've gotten older, that I like to convey to people is that everything has its own purpose. You know,
yeah,
everything has its own purpose. Every stone, everything has its own purpose. And all it is learning more about life is finding what those purposes are, including ourselves.
right. And I like how you said purposes, because some people think you only have one purpose. But I too
Oh
I
man.
too think that you have more than one.
Oh,
And so
I agree. I
and
agree.
on my affirmation, I say on the one for purpose, which is one of the principles of Kwanzaa, Nia. And
Yeah,
I say daily, daily daily my purpose is revealed, right? That's the affirmation. Like
that's
that
right.
manifestation
That's
is
right.
that if you're looking for it, like every day may have a purpose in it if you are in the end in that attention from your first breath once you rise, right? Like,
Yes,
oh
that's
yeah,
right. That's right. Exactly. Amen.
hey woman, hey, it's real.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
So Uriel, we're coming close. How can we're coming close to an end, and I want to do either I want to open it up for questions. Right now, are you open to that? If there's a question in the chat, we'll take one or two questions. If you have a question
Sure,
for
sure.
this this person here who can share with you and mentor you for a little bit here on anything that all things yoga, all things
Mm.
regards to mentorship and pro fitness specialists here. So if you all have a question or anything about that breathing, let him know and let us know how we can support you. I know you have a book out called Love Over Hate. Did you want to talk about that? Or someone was like, the color of my sky is black too. So you want to talk about one of those things? Well, you got so much going on. You
Yeah,
just like,
yeah. The color of my sky is black. I had the first poem that I have off of it is called.
yeah, show us the book. Is it the book?
Okay, yeah. This is the book,
Okay. Where can we find that?
and it's on Amazon.
Okay.
Um, Basically, I just try to give. On the back, it says, "This is a tribute to my ancestors. These poems are for the people to use as reference, better understand the male indigenous point of view. This is written with love." So, it's just to give. people are introspective because in America alone, we're the minority, but you know, um,
Globally, majority, right?
globally, yeah,
Yeah.
there's more melanated people than there are. But
Hmm.
I just try to give introspection into how someone like me might feel. And so, like the first poem is called "Look Up," and
Come
it
on,
says the whole of earth, water, the entire of sun, fire. What holds them and everything in it? Facts. The color of my sky is black. So what I'm saying in it, and I'm just going to be really brief, but if you look up and you keep looking up and you keep looking up and outer, you know, it's going to be nothing but black outside of it. What holds all of it in, you know, everything you have, your worries, fire, pain, you know, what holds all of it in there, encompasses it, is black.
wow, wow. You know what? Do you remember that? We used to take the
Yes,
Morocco.
no
That's
doubt.
something I took with me, and I kept it. We should take the Morocco for all that is mysterious and all that is real in the stars, right? Like the stars couldn't shine without the
That's
black.
right. That's
You
right.
know, it's
That's right.
real.
A
It's
child comes
found.
from the blackness in of the womb of a mother
Yeah,
to
right.
the light,
We
right?
yes, we need light needs dark all day.
That's
So
right.
I give thanks for it, and I give thanks
Yeah.
that you are speaking that. And it's so funny because I don't know if you know that, but that's something I say at the end of a lot of the my posts is keep looking up and keep looking out.
Keep looking up. Yeah.
Did you know that? That's what
Seen
I
that. I have seen that. I have seen that. I didn't even think about that at all. Wow.
yeah. And the reason why we keep looking up is because if you can continue to keep looking up, you can like there's something about raising the head and
That's right.
and
No
like
doubt.
it's not even that maybe that the God of your understanding might be up there somewhere, but the God of my understanding or goddess is also
Mhm,
within, right? So,
mhm,
so,
mhm,
so,
mhm.
so when you but if you can keep
Oh, Venus. Oh, that's you
what
going.
what
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
but if you can keep your head up, then there is less doubt, and
That's
when
right.
there's less doubt, right, you can now see things. But if you down here, you can't even see the miracles in front of you.
That's right. That's right.
But if you're looking up, you're going to see them. I'm going to see you,
That's
right?
right.
And so I'm see
That's
you over
right.
there doing
Venus,
all
I got one more that I
the
just really want to
got your
dedicate to you
down
really
here.
fast
Go ahead.
because it's in the book and it explains something that people have always said the chicken or the egg, right? That theory. So I call this geometric mother.
Okay.
From the same point starts a circle, ends a line. She still begins. From the same point that starts a circle, ends a line. She still begins. Now, where that comes, why I have a geometric mother is because in sacred geometry, and which is very well known in the math, the fact is a straight line is male, a curved line is female. So a point is still a circle. So at the same point that starts a circle, and it's it's always a circle.
It's always a circle, and in our culture, we love circles. That's why we call them, and then the hip hop culture we call them ciphers. Hello, and but that's what the magic it can happen in the circle. So, um, That is real. I'm gonna put in the chat where they can find you. Real Uriel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I could put that on the thing, but I just put it on there so y'all can see. But yeah, yeah, that's what's real is that
Yeah.
the circle brings life. And this is something else that's real deep. Talk about deep thoughts. Have you always noticed? Man, it was like, is it really true that all the planets are round? And why is that? Why don't you have like triangle?
Yeah.
Why don't you have square? So
Right.
there's
Right.
powerful about a circle out here.
Mother.
It's cosmos.
The mother. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Geometrically, that can embody everything.
Yeah.
You see, in we find in nature, if you look at any of these plants, you find it. Everything has curves. Nothing is straight. So all those things are made up and only formed through mathematical, equations from the light perception.
Right.
So yeah, everything's going to be curved though, no matter what.
So that's what's really interesting about lines and circles. You still need, these lines.
That's
And I
right.
think that one way is better than the other per se, but they're just different.
No,
But I
no,
think
it's
that
not necessary.
you can use both, because even as as an educator, I've learned that, different ways of teaching, like even like this idea of the circle.
Oh, you always need both. You
Yeah,
always
but
need
I
both.
think that
No doubt.
I'm glad that you caught on to that.
It's just that. It's just that. I also want to try and do is try to correct and bring a little bit more balance because, um, for instance, I cry. You know, that's a great thing.
Man, listen.
Um,
I
that's a
got.
great thing.
Did you say
You
you
see what
cried?
I'm saying? But you have
Oh,
to embrace
Uriel,
it.
did you just say you cry?
I cry. I've never seen my
Look,
dad cry.
I gotta be the angel's advocate.
You know what I mean? I've never seen my dad cry.
But can I ask you? That's where we gotta go, real quick, if we can. Can you tell me why and how you did that first cry without feeling shame, given the culture tells you that you're not man enough? Because I'm watching Cobra Kai right now. Cobra Kai. Man, Cobra Kai. Get that Mr. Miyagi crying mess. Okay.
Right.
How did you? How can you do that? Because there's
I
a
know.
young
I got an uncle man.
man watching you
Like
right now.
literally,
Like,
his name is Man.
tell me, crying with courage.
Balance. It's all about balance to me. Okay, for instance, I don't cry about the same thing,
Okay.
but I will cry, and it's important. I just had I call it a cleansing when I cry. It's like that's how I look at it. It's a cleansing. Um, but it's necessary, just like the rain. So I cried recently because I remember in my room, and when I was a little boy, looking out at the window and hearing the birds chirp, and it didn't matter that there was murder and stuff going on around me. I didn't think about that. I knew the cars when they would leave. I remember the birds chirping, and I just remembered me thinking, I'm in peace right now. I'll die in peace, and then I'll be reborn again in peace. And then that made me cry.
Yeah.
It's just like I was so
Yeah.
innocent.
And it's something about getting connected to nature. But see, you were connecting to nature, which what is beautiful about this pandemic is I think that I have never noticed since this pandemic, it has allowed me to pay attention to the sound of birds a lot more. And even my mother-in-law just transitioned. My brother-in-law, he's seeing praying mantis, right? And mantis show up. And I don't know if y'all know about totems, but
Yes, yes, no
You
doubt.
said if you see a certain animal over and over
Yeah,
again,
yep,
or insect or things like that, you need to
that's
look.
right.
What does
Look
that mean?
it up.
Yeah,
Yes, 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 yes.
Animal
Research it.
Speak.
Oh, no
Animal Speak
doubt.
is a great book. But you get my point, right? So when you said that, I think maybe there was something there, like in that moment, if that was your moment of transformation as a child. I don't know how old you were when you were like, I don't care if my dad don't cry. I'm about to cry. I'm about to shed some tears right now on purpose.
Right, right, right.
Yana Van Zant, she was like,
Yeah.
yesterday I cried, but Yana Van Zant, she says, but she cried with a purpose, right?
Yes, that's right.
It's
That's
a
right.
reason
That's
that
right.
you're releasing those chemicals of despair.
That's right.
If you
And you
don't
can't
cry,
hold all
if you
that
don't
in.
cry, what happens? Some folks cry bullets. Cobra Kai. Okay.
Man, if you
But
don't,
like
it
if they don't respond to
just bind.
crying.
All right, this is the great because I used to give this scenario as an analogy to people with working out. This is
Right.
exactly what happens. You know what a ball of yarn is?
Mm-mm.
A ball of yarn is one string. That's all it is one string. Oh, every time you're working out and stuff, you're contracting the muscle, you're breaking it down. What you're doing is tearing little muscle fibers, and then it has to, what happens in its rest in water and oxygen, it rebuilds stronger, just like a callus. If you ever dunked before, you start ripping off the skin on your hands when you first start dunking. And then after you've been doing it for a while, it just toughens up and it doesn't rip off anymore. The same exact thing. This is a ball of yarn. If you do not keep getting over or you do not accept those traumas, and all they do is just pile right up. Next thing you know, that long line of string is going to be a ball of yarn.
And that's when the circle is that the circle can be a lot of things. That's when you almost wish you had that line again. Because that's why we say, hey, we don't shun nothing. Because sometimes you want that,
No, no,
don't you?
that's right. That's right. That's right. That's
Right.
right. You
It
know
can
what
be
I mean?
all of
And so it's
confusion.
important to let it out. It's
Yeah.
important to pull that yarn back out so it doesn't get all balled up, you know?
Mhm. Yes, that reminds me of somebody else. Oh my gosh, who had a book called Cheaper Than Therapy, and she was talking about these paper clips. Oh my gosh, and I may have to have her as a guest. You're just making me think.
Yes,
You know what?
right.
You know what? I am so happy. I cannot believe I knew the time was going to fly. I knew this was going to
Yep.
happen.
Yeah.
But please, you all show your love for Uriel in the chat. Uriel, remind them once again how they can follow you and support you, and we will see y'all in the Zoom. Are you coming to the after party in the Zoom open mic tonight?
In the Zoom, we doing the poetry?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
got
no
one more piece.
doubt. Yeah.
Hey, okay.
No doubt. I love to listen. I love everyone's art, and I appreciate y'all. And like the you said, the person was saying about with the crime with the purpose. I hope and that everyone tries to write with a purpose,
Ooh,
because don't try to impress no one else. Write what's on your heart. That's what always comes off the most powerful to me.
yeah.
Anyway.
And say what is you're most afraid to say, because that's what I did this week, and I was so proud of myself. And that's sometimes that's when you really when you're the most vulnerable, you can shine and most important when you're in the moment. So stay divine, keep looking up, keep looking out. My name is Venus Jones, and you can
Woo!
visit venusjones.com. Stay in touch, get on that email and listen. You can get that Zoom invite. But right now I'm going to say goodbye to my friend, or see you later to Uriel. But this has been a blessing, bro.
Oh,
I'm so happy that you spent some time in this soul chat with me.
thank you. Thank you
You
so
know what I
much.
mean?
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
You're amazing.
And until next time,
Everyone, give love, nothing but love to Venus, and we really appreciate you. Thank you for bringing anything of us and to the light to the people, because we all need that. Not everyone has that. But we love you. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much. See you next Tuesday. Same time, same place. Keep looking up. Keep looking up.